Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Sherm in the Booth. My name is Sherm. You guys are some true Chicagoans for coming out in January. It's snowing outside, it's freezing, and you're at the fucking club at 1 a.m.
Boys with the bass, yeah, boys, bass.
Who am I talking to right now? You're famous.
Free food, free drinks, music, girls. Let's go.
Do you like it? Cool. If you don't, goodbye.
I'm missing the most important part.
Boys with the bass, yeah.
We should throw like a crazy bar mitzvah party.
This is crazy. Send me stems. I finished it.
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
Just wait, you know it kicks in like 3 to 5 seconds afterward.
Yo, what's good, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm, and my, oh my, do we have an electric episode for you guys today. Episode 232 features the incredibly talented DJ producer Goshfather. Now, when I say this interview has it all, I really do mean it. In 232, we got it all in. We talked about the state of the industry and what the future looks like, building your community and how to engage with that community as an artist, how he released one track every week for a year, that's right, 52 tracks, social media, content creation, and so much more. I found myself completely engulfed in his stories and perspectives that range from incredibly profound to absolutely hilarious. I know this episode is going to hit for so many of you. Now, enough of me talking, let's get into it right now so you can hear his story for yourselves. This is episode 232 with Goshfather. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Goshfather.
What's up, baby? What's happening? What's going on? Y'all can hear me okay? And we were good?
Yeah.
We're sounding good?
Check.
Okay.
Mic check.
Great.
Dude.
Good shit.
You are such an absolute legend, okay? I want to
Thank you,
just
bro.
tell you that right away. When I
Appreciate
got to
you,
meet you in
You
person
too.
for the first time, thank you for Nova San Diego opening for
Yes.
our boy Wookie,
Man.
who we could probably do a whole episode on how much we love him.
Yes, incredible.
Dude, you were so great on the mic. Your intro was incredible. Like, you're just so full of life. Like, when we were hanging out at the after party too, like, you are one of us in terms of like energy levels, right? Like, you
Thank you,
are who
man.
you
Appreciate
are. And none of that smoke and mirror shit, like backstage at the after party on the decks.
Yes,
You just
sir.
bring it, bro, and real recognize real. I just wanted to start off by like giving you your flowers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. Seriously,
Yeah.
thank you.
Of course. And I've known you or known your music and your brand for quite some time. I mean, you've been in the game for a long time, at least
Yes.
2011. I mean, how long have you actually been producing for, though?
Like 12 years, 13 years, 14 years,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
there we
that.
go.
I mean, it's pretty crazy.
God, dude. And you know what? So many people are like at our level in terms of like double digits, like just hitting the double digits.
Yep.
And now
Yeah,
it feels like, at least for me, I'm starting to get that vision. I know like what's working, what's fun for me, what's making sense for my community and my fan base. And now I feel like the impact is starting to actually happen. Are you feeling like that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I mean, there's a couple of different things. Sorry, let me just adjust this quickly.
Yeah,
There's a couple different, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say straight up, the double digits would not have happened without Instagram threads for me.
yeah.
I mean, that's been a huge thing for me. And absolutely. I mean, and also like, me putting out, in 2023, we'll probably get into this at some point in this conversation, but
Of
in
course.
2023, I put out, I was going to quit music, and I
You were to
decided
quit straight
I was
up.
going to quit in 2022 because I was doing like a lot of different stuff. That's how I became friends with like Good Times Ahead guys and Wookie and Gesture and like all these like Wax Motif, like all these homies that like, we were like during COVID, we were like into stocks and day trading and like crypto. We were like doing all this different shit. And like I mean, that's how I got to know them because I'm really good at like kind of marketing and like all that. I just love that stuff. I actually like
Cool.
that stuff as much as I like making music. So we got into like all that. That's how I got to know all these guys that were like much bigger than me on like not a check out my demos level, which I was in for like a very long time. So
Yeah.
and like I kind of like built up like a lot of like I just became friends with like a lot of these people and basically in 2022 I was like, getting so into all that other tech, like kind of tech stuff and like music tech and like Web3 and all this different stuff that I was like, maybe I just don't want to fucking do music anymore. Maybe there's no point of doing this. And then, but then every now and then I would like send a little track, send a little like, check this out. What do you guys think? Little disco vibes, little this, little that. And somebody in that group took me aside and was like, listen, dude, you send a lot of like works in progress and a lot of like half done shit. And let me just tell you, like, whether we in here say this is the worst song fucking ever made, quit music and go, can I say fuck? Because I really am excited.
Absolutely, yeah.
whether we say to you, hey, go fuck yourself, this is the worst song ever, or we're gonna say, oh, this is the greatest song ever, it changed our lives. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's not up to
like
them.
What matters is the fans. What matters is if you can go and create something that a random stranger on the internet who doesn't give a fuck about you or know about you yesterday can listen to it and they can shake their head to it and they can shake their ass to it. That is what it's about. It's not about you and going asking, torturing the homies, you know, waterboarding the homies with works in progress, boarding the homies. No, but that's what happened.
I haven't heard that. I get waterboarded all the time. Then, yeah.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? The snare, the hi-hat, the hi-hat. Nobody fucking cares. What matters is, do you like it and can you deliver it in a compelling way to random kids online that are gonna go shake their ass and use it in a. So that's my very long-winded way of saying I was gonna quit, and then I was like, "Fuck it, you know, in 2023, it's the eve of a new year. Let me just like really give this shit one more chance. Let me let me buy it, releasing one song every week." So I decided to put out an edit or an original or remix or something every single week for 52 weeks.
Wow.
And again, this is my very long-winded way of saying that was obviously a thing. I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be a cool personal challenge for me." What I didn't realize was how aggressively it built my community around my music. I mean, this shit was like, I mean, as we're speaking here right now, those 52 records are doing an incredible amount of legwork for me all over the planet Earth.
Yes.
Like I'm getting videos. Just now, I just got sent a video of somebody playing one of my edits in like London.
Wow.
At some like fucking like festival. Like I don't know this person. But they're still playing an edit that I put out, dude, last February. Where
oh my god,
you know, the way that music goes, it's like you think that your shit's good for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and no one cares anymore. But that has just been really, really blowing me up in my sleep, and like that and Instagram threads, and what I'm realizing is, again, very long-winded, is what I didn't do back when I was first starting off, because I used to be in a duo called Goshfather and Jinko, and we did trap, and we had like a lot of success, and we got signed to WME, and we were like touring. What I realized was like looking back and how I was like I was a young buck with all this like crazy you know, crazy like success coming my way that I hadn't, it was just escalating so fast. I really fucking thought that, oh, it's all me, dude. It's all me. I'm the, well, me and my partner, whatever we were doing, like it's all us. It's like we're the X Factor, we're the artist. But dude, like
the ego.
But here's the thing, the ego, and you don't realize it when you're having all that success happening so fast that, dude, it's not about us, it's about the kids again that are discovering you, the ones that are DMing you, the ones that are going, we fuck with your music, we saw you in this venue, cool, bro, sick, thanks for coming.
Right.
That's that, and you only realize that when, because me and my old production partner, we broke up. And you only realize that when you're trying to start your project again, and none of those people are there. Not because you suck, but because it's not their business to stick around while an artist figures out their fucking life. Unless the artist went and really did something to show their community, hey, you guys are the reason that I exist. You guys are the reason that I get to even get paid 1 cent to go and DJ somewhere. And so that was like a huge thing for me. And like in 2023, where I started realizing I can't rely on my old success at all to determine what's going to happen. So that's why when I was like, dude, I'm going to put all this music out, I made a point that anybody that would ever reach out to me, how do I make this person feel like I think that they're God's gift to fucking earth, which to me, because they are.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Period. Because if I don't have them, this whole shit falls through the floor.
So true. So before, you're saying it was pretty top level, right? Like you were getting, you know, vanity success, so to speak.
Of course. And it was fast.
It was
hella fast.
Yeah, dude. I was just listening to Malp and Will Clark talk on their podcast today, how that instant success, like a one-hit wonder sort of, right? Like it doesn't matter if you're in dance music or rock and roll, pop, it's dangerous for an artist because there's so much pressure to follow up. 1, 2 is the community reel. 3 is that your actual sound. 4, how are you going to maintain that longevity? It's better to start off by, like we said before we went live, what's your vision? where's your community going to come from? How are you serving them, right? Because we're in a
Right.
field that's subjective. We're making art. It's their opinion, and it's a miracle if anybody else thinks that they like the art that we've created.
It's unbelievable. But see, I'm telling you, and this is what I like to talk about, like
Yeah.
on Instagram threads, like that's one of my biggest things. Like, and again, for those of you that don't know about Instagram threads and never used it, it's Instagram Meta's version of like Twitter. But
Yeah.
I personally believe like there's something really special to it. Like I've really built. So the thing about Instagram threads is like I have no escape from, like I can't hide under my success or even my recent success. I can't hide under my past success. I'm getting judged, and I am judging people based on the contribution that they're having at that moment in time when I'm interacting with them in a conversation about
Yeah.
something that I'm interested in, and that is what's amazing about it. And because I talk so much about music and like artists finding their way and like people starting from zero, how does somebody start from zero as an artist to get to one, from 0% to 1%?
Yeah.
The algorithm on there, maybe because it's like a new algorithm, or maybe I don't know what the hell it is. It's really connected me with very interesting people that I'm
Right.
actually having like real civil, interesting conversations that actually are going somewhere, that are, I don't know.
It's
I mean,
not
I've got
toxic almost.
I mean, you're gonna have toxicity everywhere, but
Of
it's
course.
like the people that I'm being connected with on there are they're giving me a chance.
Yeah.
They're giving me a chance to kind of listen to what I have to say, and I get the opportunity to give them a chance to get to know what they. I know I'm homies now with people on there that are just downloaded Ableton for the first time. It's a father of two, and I'm interested
Yeah.
in. I used to like drum and bass and drum and bass. I love stories like that, or somebody that's been like, "Hey, I'm on my third fucking career.
Yeah.
I was signed to this label and that label, and then I fucking quit during COVID, and now I'm back." Like, I love hearing everybody's story. I get juiced up about it, and on that platform is one of those things where it's like you're building a community, or whatever platform anybody chooses, but for me it seems to be threads. But
Yeah.
it's like what I realized about what community building that I didn't know when I first had my success, when I was first in that duo, is community building is it's not you have the sickest content. It's, are you willing to have the patience to be able to have a conversation with somebody about something that they care about
Yes.
on a level further than, anyway, check out my new song on Spotify, then you're fucked.
You're
Right?
fucked.
It's such a ratio for me of like 99 to 100, 99 posts about like artists, 99 posts about my journey, 99 posts about how I can help people, to like
Mhm.
1% I go and say, "Hey, check out my new thing." And I'm
Oh my
happy to
God.
do that,
Bro,
because now I'm realizing it's more worth it for me
it
to like
is.
get ingrained with actual people that are in these communities
Hmm.
than it is for me to fucking beat them over the head with next Friday, next
Yeah.
Tuesday, next Wednesday. Like, nobody gives a shit, you know?
That's
Oh,
fulfilling. And that's what I find to be most interesting about sort of my career as an artist right now. I felt like for
mhm.
so long, being a Chicago DJ, I'm focusing on how do I impress this promoter? How do I impress this talent buyer? How do I impress this other DJ? Why was I wasting my time doing that when guess what? It's the fans who create the demand. It's the fans who propel you forward. It's the fans who do the hard work, right?
Right.
So in the bass community, I'm completely fascinated by it because
Mm.
I feel like you like metal and rock and roll and hard shit like that.
Okay, dude, it's so crazy what you're about. I think I do.
I
Yeah,
think
go
you know
on.
what I'm about to say,
Well,
right?
dude, I mean, I just, yeah, keep going, because I specifically what you're about talking about is I'm fascinated with it too. But yeah, go ahead.
It's indie for so long, but they
Yeah,
can't help but build a community because it's so
it's crazy.
niche, right?
It is.
And especially in the United States, like bass music, metal, right? Like you never know who these fans are going to be. And I was just talking to Wooly, right? Like this guy's
Great
absolutely
example. Great example.
killing
Great
it.
example.
He's from upstate New York, Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a withstanding bass scene there? No.
And he was also like an economics major or something. Like, he comes from this
Yes.
like really like different, like, yeah, he was like an accountant or something like that. He was.
Exactly. So he was telling me sort of about that story, and I asked all these other bass music producers about it.
Yeah.
And there's just like this direct correlation for their come up. Look at somebody like Sudden Death, right? Like
Yeah.
he just headlined his first festival, technically, even though he's so big. He's been selling out 1,200 person venues, 2,000 person venues for so long.
Yeah.
And he brings this community, they go travel to see him.
Yes,
And
dude.
on the come up, yes, you're
Yeah.
having these conversations that are deeper than next Friday,
Yeah.
next Friday, next Friday. I love that. You can
Yeah.
only do so much when you get to that level, but it's that time
Yeah.
you spent originally talking to those fans who say, "Hey, I got to talk to Sudden Death way back in the day. I got to talk to Goshfather all these years ago, or however
Sure.
long that timeline's going to be.
Yeah,
He
of
told me
course.
this." And they spread the word. It's word of mouth, man. And that's why I think artists like yourself that take that time are going to go a long way because you're making an impact by starting with the community. It takes longer, but it's more fulfilling.
Listen, and like again, I agree. Well, so many different things to take from what you just said, but dude,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, me as a DJ producer. I mean, I've been in this a long time. Been there in the beginning when a lot of people like the Slanders and the Sullivan Kings and the Kazos and stuff, when they were all starting out. I
Perfect.
saw them from zero, and I mean, like the thing that is always across the board, someone can go and say, "Oh, these guys just came out of nowhere." That Bro, no, none of these guys that have the longevity right now came out of nowhere.
Nope.
I mean, the amount of, I mean, I saw Kazo at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium maybe it was end of 2023 or something.
Yeah.
Bro is going outside in the middle of the fucking street and taking fucking photos with
Yeah.
iPhone photos on 4 different. Can I have one? Can I have one? With his fans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's amazing.
That you either are that or you're not that. You're nothing's happening for you. I don't give a shit. Like the fact that these dudes are still, despite the success that they have, the fucking 50,000 people that fucking, they're still going outside and taking photos with the kids on the shitty Samsung and the vertical, horizontal. Please do this. Dude, they're doing it. That's it. Yeah, I mean, there's no other.
Yep.
And dude, so the funny thing is that you were talking about like the bass music scene and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think just Sullivan King, who's another homie that I even have a song with him. Me and Jinko did a song with him back in the day.
Yeah.
The guy is just another dude. Go on his fucking one of these days. Go on his Facebook groups.
That's
The amount of like discourse that is happening about bro. Like, did you see he wore this black shirt at the last May 6th, 19th? I'm like, bro, these people are so but that is like what we don't. That's what like cynical industry fucking people don't see. They don't
Especially
see the
in
fact
our
that
house music world. It's
exactly,
ridiculous.
dude,
Yeah.
because it's the thing. We don't see that shit, but that is why these people are playing and have this longevity. It's because there is their audience is not like this anonymous, as I like to call it, glory hole of like streaming fucking oh, these guys came and streamed, fuck them, I don't care. These people are ingrained in these people's lives and they give back to them.
Yes.
There is something though any business person or a fucking creative person can learn from that.
Yeah.
Like people think that it's dubstep flavor of the month. No, dude, there's either it's them or like a team of people around them that are making sure that these fans are getting fed.
Yep.
And that is something that I think every single person can learn from them. I don't care if you want to become a fucking ballerina tomorrow. You still need to leverage these online communities to be able to give you that leverage in the rest of your career. And that's what these people do. And it's so fascinating to watch.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, in our world, right, like, I think it's changing a lot, certainly, at least in the world that I surround myself in, which is like, you know, hood politics, DJ Susan, you, Wookie, right? Like, we preach inclusivity. We preach, like, energy, love, and that's real, right? And people are still... Yeah, we mean it, bro. Like just in San Diego when Wookie played, like all of the homies showed up. We always show up. That's just what we do because they would do the same for us. So we try and always have that energy surrounding us. And it's changed the way I think about life. It's changed the way I think about my brand. It's changed the way I treat people that slide into my DMs, right? Like I'm someone who is all about serving, especially the younger generation. And like I said earlier, there are so many DJs out there. And I think for a while, a lot of people are like, oh, it's oversaturated. Oh, that's not a good thing. That's a great thing because that is a paying fan right there, right? Like if you want to think about it from a business perspective, those are people that are going to pay for the band camps, pay for the Patreons, pay for the exclusivity, pay for the access. So it's not about being the cool elitist techno DJ anymore. It's not. And it never should have been maybe, but that just kind of happened. So I look up to bass artists and metal artists and
which are converging. That's what I'm saying. Like those two worlds are like completely, there's something about both of them that they fuck with each other. Clearly look at Kazo, Sullivan King, the sudden death. I mean, literally there's that, but there's also something about like, it's like almost like because the community is so niche, the artists and the community, they protect each other.
They do. That's
what I think it is, dude. They
they do.
They realize that they are at any given moment they could be the meme of like a mainstream culture. So they really fucking ride for each other. And I think it's almost like a built-in mechanism of community building.
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about that because again, the first examples I think of the Kazos, I think of the Sullivan Kings, I think of like
true.
You know, it's an actual tight-knit family, but with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's crazy. We can learn a lot from it, dude. Everyone can learn a lot from it. It's
How are
incredible.
you doing that right now? I mean, I want to get into the
Sure.
52 tracks that you released, but let's
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
it on
yeah.
the community note right now. Like,
Sure.
you put out so much content, so much music. The
Right.
thread stuff I love, by the way, too. I completely agree on
Thanks,
that,
man.
right? But how do you currently like pay attention to your fan base and serve them?
So there's a couple of different ways. There's a couple of different. I mean, number one, I try to show. Right. Here's what I've learned, because obviously I learned. I also really am fascinated in like marketing and like sales and like all this other stuff. I
Yeah.
especially during like COVID, I really was getting, when I was into like Web3 and like in the tech kind of world, I was really just fascinated with how there's like a convergence with all those things.
Yeah.
Tech is not just make apps. Tech is like the marketing aspect, like all these different things happening. And like
Yeah.
I really like, I'm obsessed with like ad week and like people that do like crazy marketing stunts. Like I love that stuff. I think it's
too.
very interesting. But at the same time, one of the most overarching principles that I've learned about why content is important, for example,
Yeah.
is period. And this is why I'll get into this, like why I decided back in August of 2023, when I was in the middle of this whole thing, to do a full like rebrand visually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I went from being Victor Goshfather, he's doing funny videos, to Goshfather is now turning into like a fucking character of some kind. It's turning into like a visual identity, and that's something that I realized I didn't have before. And for some reason, well, whatever, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
The point is, why is content important? If you're an artist, for example, let's say, I mean, we could talk about business, but we'll talk about in terms of an artist.
Yeah.
When people see you showing up, even if it's not fucking 8K quality, fucking directed by Michael Bay, fucking 15-second fucking meme video, if you show up consistently on the feed, you build trust.
Yes.
That is what is happening. That's why when I go on threads, people think that I'm a fucking shill for Mark Zuckerberg. I don't give a fuck about Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not saying 15-second videos are like fucking Mahatma Gandhi fucking cultural. But I'm saying if you're trying to make it and not get your ass owned by a record label or by a fucking man or whatever the hell it is, have to give away so much of your percentage of your IP, your property, in order to get some eyeballs on your shit.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to be fully independent and be able to own everything and be able to own that connection with the community and be able to have that leverage, you have to show up consistently. Because what happens is, we don't realize this, but when an artist or an entity or a brand goes radio silent for 2 months, dude, I get it. Mental health. Okay, I understand. That's important. But if you do that, you don't have a mechanism to be able to still kind of keep up when you maybe go into those places or don't have the bandwidth for it.
Yeah.
Dude, what I always say, your target audience is getting extremely, not addictive, but extremely like targeted content, like blasted at them. What Pokemon the fucking calligraphy, they're going to get the fucking 24 hours a day, the best, craziest, most eye-catching content of the day, content of the week that has to do with those things that they're interested in.
Yep.
That's what the artists are now competing against. So if you go and take a break for 2 months, you can't get mad at the audience that is getting like sensory fucking overloaded to hell, basically, from these apps, to sit there and go, oh, well, now he's back. I'm sorry, but sometimes 2-3 weeks can go by and you, not because they fucking hate you as an artist, but because there's just so much.
That's
so
how they do it.
It's up to you to build that trust that you're still going to be able to show up, because it takes a person a lifetime to, for example, fall in love with Pokemon, whatever the hell they're interested in, opening up fucking card packs. If that is their whole life and that's the content that they watch all day, it's because when they were 13 and when they were 18 and they were 20, like there was experiences that, for you as a new artist,
interesting,
you need to speed run to be able to get that, to be able to carve out that place in somebody's heart, right? And especially if you're just starting out as you're independent. And how do you do it? You need to show up. And I'm not saying you have to make a fucking 8K incredible fucking most genius next level content every single day. And because that's what a lot of artists, when I talk to them about content and they're like so pissed, oh, I hate content, I hate the rat race. They think that's what you need to do. No, what you need to do is check in with the people that fuck with you. On a basic level. I'm not saying make the sexiest skit ever, every day, genius, 200 million likes. But you have to prove to these people. I'm waving my comb around like a fucking magic wand. I'm getting into it right now.
It's great.
You have to show to these people that you're not a fucking fly-by-night hobbyist. Because if you are, unfortunately, the audience doesn't have time to invest in you.
Yeah.
That's because there's just so much going on. And I think that when an artist and this, I have this conversation on Threads all the time, and I look at my posts sometimes, and it looks like I'm this fucking like I work at Meta or something. Post more, post more. Like, dude, I don't care. It's not about that. It's just that it's the difference between you controlling the conversation between you as an artist and the community that is fucking with you or starting to fuck with you.
Yeah.
If you want to control it, you have to be able to be present for them. You have to show up. You have to do something, and you have to do it out of empathy for them.
Yeah.
It's not about being cool, sexy, funny 24 hours a day on social media. It's about checking in with people that if they fuck with you, you kind of can't let them down because they're going to very easily forget.
Genuine empathy is what I'm
It
getting.
is, because you have to realize what they're doing the minute they click away from your shit, dude. They are getting smacked in the face with the craziest car video, the craziest sexy fucking influencer. They don't have, so anyway. I just think it's important. I just think it's important to like batch create. I think it's important to like really think about who your audience is, think about where they spend time, and in earnest, go and like make inroads with them and meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing that will protect you from, oh, nobody likes my shit. Oh, I wish a record label would sign me like right now. I wish that a manager would find me. I wish that an angel would find me. I wish that like there's a magic button. The magic button is 2-3 years talking with people that fuck with you.
Yep.
And nothing faster.
Yep. And it's certainly not a one-click.
That's my rant. That's my rant on that. And I really believe in it.
Top 3 rants I've had on the podcast. Oh my God.
Okay. And we still got time too. Oh, you just wait.
That's an approved rant. That is an approved rant, my guy.
Okay, good.
So one thing that stuck out there was batch creation.
Yes, sir.
Is that how you did 52 tracks? Like, how did you actually take the time to, 1, prepare, 2, to follow through, 3, to promote, and just stay consistent? Because I guess there's many questions that I have.
Sure, please.
And on top of that, like, you remix so many different types of tracks, right? You had rap, pop, EDM, like they all
did 2 techno tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like it's insane. So I guess to back it up, like, how did you even like prepare?
So the first thing is, I mean this when I say this, and I think through this process of me putting out a song every single week, it really taught me that a lot of the stuff, like the things that people would say about like success and things that people would say about like grinding or whatever, all this different shit, like so much of the stuff that I thought was just like hogwash, that I thought it was just like this little motivational, cute phrases to say, a lot of it I realized was 100% fucking true. And one of those things that I would listen to it and go, okay, well, this is a cool little platitude to think about, but what the fuck does it mean?
Yeah.
One of the main things that got me through this challenge, and I'd keep with me basically forever because of going through that, is figuring out what your why is. Okay. And that's another one of those things you'll see it on a fucking motivational fucking YouTube Shorts fucking compilation. Okay. You'll find your what. Okay, but what the hell does that mean for practical fucking normal human beings that don't understand fucking the Silicon Valley fucking spiritual leader fucking speak? Is you have to just figure out a very like short sentence about what the fuck is the point of you trying to do the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And for me, it was two very simple things. I want to be able to explore this kind of like disco house sound and take it further, get right. And I also wanted to prove to myself that I'm able to be a finisher. That was it. I want to push my song forward, and I want to do that, or I want to push my sound forward and develop it via actually showing up and creating. That was my why. So what happens is when I had that locked in 2-parter, it was very simple for me to be able to go, well, this has to happen no matter what, because that is my thing. And nobody is asking me to fucking do this. I definitely am not getting paid to do this.
No gun to your head.
No gun to my head. And here's the thing. That's another one of those things, right?
Yeah.
It's another one of those things that I realized that when I did that is, it's when there's no gun to your head is when you really figure out who the fuck you are as a insert into it. Creative person, business person, entrepreneur, fucking boyfriend to your girlfriend. I mean, there's so many different,
it's you,
family member.
You hold yourself accountable. No
exactly. But dude, that is what I realized.
Yeah.
That I was not doing after I broke up with, after a huge wave of success and the money and the touring and what I realized was I was not holding myself accountable. And again, that comes with ego. That's another one of those things. So again, how was I able to do it? So this for me, it's always like a 2-parter, right? It's, in the beginning, it's this like kind of mental, spiritual kind of reason that I was able to do it.
Yeah.
But from a technical aspect, step 1, I always use reference tracks. always use reference tracks because one of my biggest things that I tell people on threads all the time, the reason you're not finishing music is because you are getting caught up in fundamental things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things, such as structure of music. It's like going and saying, I'm gonna go. I admire this house because of the foundation of it. Nobody's ever said that in the history of fucking eyeballs and houses. Nobody said, "Wow, what a gorgeous foundation this has under the fucking building." No, it's the doors, it's the fucking color of the house, it's the interior, it's the ceiling, it's the roof.
Hell
The,
yeah.
the interior, the ceiling, the roof, the doors. When it comes to music, is the sounds that you're using. It's the vocal that you choose. It's the rhythm. It's not about when the chorus comes in and when the fucking verse comes in and when the buildup comes in.
Yeah.
So once I gave myself that, the kind of just, I just allowed myself to just go and take shit structures from songs that I liked. Then I could just then I'm just stacking up ideas like this. So to me, music and creativity, it's not a first place, second place, third place. It's a left to right spectrum.
Okay, I
It's
like
how
that.
how weird or how normal are you taking this left or to the, are you homogenizing? It's
Yeah.
not, this is the sickest song, this is the second sickest song, this is the third sickest song. Because
Mhm.
what's going to happen is your worst song that you've ever made in your life, somebody can listen to it and say, this song changed my life.
So true.
It's just a question of how many people are you getting to hear the song. That's it, period. It could be the most contrived, whatever the fuck you could cringe from it. Somebody will say, oh, I listen to this every fucking morning when I drop my kids off from school.
Yeah.
And we will never fucking know that. But so that's what I'm saying. So for me, things like structure, the minute I got that shit out of the way, that I realized, dude, it's A, B, build up, drop, then I could start really going in there and doing this crazy thing called enjoying the process.
Oh wow, I haven't heard of that. Yeah.
No, I know, but I mean it. And this is another thing that I talk about. This is another thing that I talk about a lot on threads is like, so then part two of all that, of like of the technical aspect is, dude, really really coming back to just me, Goshfather, and Victor and myself when I'm working by myself, putting blinders on, turning off social media,
Yeah.
not listening to really any other music outside of like maybe the reference track and whatever I'm doing,
Sure.
and going, I am only going to make shit and work on shit until I get to the point where I go, oh, I'm nodding my head now. Like this is the room, and these are the headphones that I made all those records on.
Amazing.
Dude, because I fucking, where I live here in San Francisco, I
Yeah.
can't use monitors. It was all those songs are made on gaming monitors. So gaming headphones.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I would just sit here until I was like, oh fuck, this is it. I get up, dance, and that momentum would be like, now just fill in the structure, add the hi-hats, do whatever the hell it is. So for me, what I learned from that perspective, from that experience is, you need to figure out a way to make this creative process enjoyable for you. Does that mean you're using samples instead of synths? Does that mean you're doing this? Whatever the hell you got to do, you have to pretend that nobody else exists. You have to pretend that nobody else is making music out there. A lot of people flame me when I say shit like this, but dude, you have to, if you're not enjoying the process, you are big fucked. Not because you're going to burn out, but also if you don't burn out, well, it always ends in burnout. But the step one is, when you don't enjoy the process, you go and you start listening to other stuff and comparing yourself. Then you start copying. And then when you copy and sit on a song for 3 months and it comes out and gets 100 streams, oh, but it sounds just like Joyride. It sounds just like fucking Fisher. And nobody gives a fuck because Fisher and Joyride and all your heroes fucking exist and you're made a fucking shitty copy. That's when burnout happens. So for me, I was like, how do I not burn out while I'm doing this? The answer was do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And make sure that I'm not putting this against something. I'm putting it against just me. And I know that sounds like so fucking simple, but that was one of the most difficult parts of the process because I had to unlearn so many years of like, all right, let's see what's on the Beatport top 10. Let's see what's hot. Let's see what's hot.
Right.
And that destroys you as a person. That
You
destroys you as
blew
a
it
creative
all up
person.
though. You blew it up and just started rebuilding again.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. So that's another one of those things. And dude, I guess the third thing, so if we can just summate that.
Yeah.
Using reference tracks, using structure, really putting on blinders. I'm saying, oh, and part 2B of this, the really putting on blinders is not asking for feedback. No feedback. I'm serious. Yeah, I would ask for feedback like on mixdowns and stuff, but never would I ask about like structurally.
Yeah.
And this is what I do. And I have like clients too that I would do like coaching after the 52 weeks that I would like help them finish songs. I would say, dude, 30 days no feedback. Don't show it to your friends. Don't show it to your girlfriend. The minute you let somebody else in, you are allowing their bias that they have about you in. And unfortunately, because you're not Skrillex, you don't have a track record of being like creating humongous music and playing humongous crowds, they are going to judge you as Steve, who they fucking know from working at Arby's. Okay. And that's what's going to always happen. And no matter how much they love you and they want you to succeed, they have to put that in there.
Yeah.
It's human nature. So if you go and ask your boy who fucking blah blah blah, what the fuck does he know about fucking EQs and compressions? So that's what I say. Feedback is fucking really bad. Well, unless you don't know, if you don't know how to wield it correctly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess yeah. And those were kind of just oh, and the last thing is just like, dude, using samples, allowing myself to fucking use samples. The third thing that I always tell people is like, dude, the circle jerk online about this is real music, this is fake music, is the most toxic thing for a person that is an artist of any kind to participate in, because it's a Mexican standoff at the bottom of the gutter. Okay, everyone has the gun to their head to be like, you can't do this, you can't do this, and everybody fucking sucks and is mediocre. And it just is. You're not even in the race. You're not even in the race, dude. You're not even in the building where the race is taking place. When you participate in fucking Reddit auto tune splice samples, it's such like non-starter, idiotic, masturbatory bullshit that I literally scream at people online. That I go, dude, use sample. I don't care if your whole fucking song is a sample. At least do that so you can get the sampling out of your system, get the splice sampling out of your system, so you can now say, oh, I just put out 3 songs that were all splice samples. I'm bored of fucking not being original. And then you start becoming original, but at least do something.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Go be shitty.
Yeah.
But be shitty and finish stuff.
Yeah.
Because the way that the human mind works is like, fuck, I just used the song that was all auto-tune and all fucking samples and all fucking preset packs. And maybe what if I just didn't do that on this next song? But you have to get to that level. So allowing myself.
So you were at that point too, right? Like when you started.
No, for sure. I mean, dude, I use splice samples. I use like a bunch of different stuff. But for me, it was like, I got to the point where I'm like, wow, there's so much in terms of like a creative philosophy that was based on what fucking some idiot on a fucking message board said one time that I read 3 years ago. And that's so insane to me, because for sure that guy that said that on the message board has not put a song out since he wrote that on Reddit 5 years ago. 100% bro has the $10,000 worth of gear and is using and is like typing over his like $10,000 keyboard to go, here, use the splice sample. But is that not like that visual of like, like bumping into his fucking $10,000 compressor? Oh shit. Gotta tell somebody that they used auto-tune. It's pathetic. So those things were just like those were all very important things to me. And they helped me finish this whole fucking thing. And like now I just feel invincible, dude. Now I feel like I'm so confident in my own sound. I feel like I can collaborate with anybody. That's another thing. I used to be very like kind of self-conscious and I don't collaborate. It changed me forever, man. It really validated the like decade of music production and being like a DJ. It was like all that has led up to this moment where now I'm like completely like the final, jewel on the crown was like, you now fuck with yourself. That was the thing that people that are big and touring still have not gotten there. There's people that still are killing it that are, what do you think of this? Do you think I could do, what do you think maybe, bro?
They're constantly seeking validation when it's you that needs it, that you give that to yourself. Give that to yourself.
It's a gift. Exactly. You give it to yourself. So that was through last year, that was my gift to myself, is like, dude, I don't care if nobody ever fucks with me ever again, I'm still going to make music.
That's awesome.
That's what I learned from this. And I feel like I mean, dude, after I broke up with Goshfather and Jinko up until 2023, where I put out like 7 songs. 7 songs in fucking 7 years, 5 something. Why? Why did I put out so little music? Was it because I was in a mental health break? No, bro, because I was a fucking ego fucking maniac, narcissistic, like fucking, pardon me, scared ass motherfucker who thought that everybody was looking at me, judging me. Nobody gave a shit.
Nobody.
And that thinking that people were doing that were what stopped me from making music. And I will stop this third most largest rant in history here. But that's just another thing. Like, other people are the death of creativity sometimes.
Listen, bro, that resonates with me on many levels. One thing with the podcast with Sherman the Booth, I was grinding on episodes for years, dude. Like, and during COVID, like, I just started doing episodes every single week. I was chasing bigger DJs because they were more available, genuinely, and the podcasts I didn't come to realize until after I kind of started to burn out is actually the gift that I give myself. And I took a break last year. My dad passed away in June. I was
Sorry.
struggling with it before, struggling with after. I said, I just need a fucking reset. But I was still doing things that make me happy, which was DJing and making music, right? I needed a break from the podcast because I was judging myself based on feeling like I put in 1,000,000 plays or 1,000,000 downloads worth of effort or 500 comments or 10,000 likes worth, and I wasn't getting it. And I was just like staring at social media, being like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do I need to try this because it might do better? I need to have these guests on because they might be more well received. No, fuck that. I stopped and I came back and I said, I don't care what people think because this is so fun for me. Life, and especially in music, these one-on-one connections that I get to have. That's why I started the podcast. It was really hard for me to meet people in Chicago because I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to meet other producers. I wasn't the guy that could go into the club and introduce myself to someone. And I found out that the hard way too. It's like when I started as a producer, the first time I had Massive and Silent, and I was just talking about this the other day, I did the biggest big room synth I possibly could. And I went, and I go, I'm fucking Hardwell, right? And that wasn't before.
Maybe you still are. You still could be.
Maybe, right? I'm
Shermwell, dude.
Shermwell. But I crave that feeling. And now I've leaned back into not worrying about what the rest of the world thinks and giving it back to me, like doing the podcast for me, asking the questions that I want to know the answers to, which I've come to learn has resonated with my fan base and new fans in such a better way. And Absolutely. It's like, why the fuck was I getting in my own way for so long? It's like I said, dude, I was chasing the promoters. I was chasing the plays. I was chasing inauthentic connectivity, looking for validation for what? The people that I think are watching me, like you said. So what you're saying, it hits so hard for artists of all levels too.
I think so. I mean, it's interesting. Just Threads, again, I keep coming back to this, but Threads has really, the only way that I can explain my experience on there is that, again, this is like my most active social media. It's my most where I've really been involved. It's when I think Threads is now when it, like, social media and what the point of it has clicked. It's not about flexing I mean, it can be about flexing the Ferrari and the Rolex and shit, but like, again, the flexing on social media, when you're an artist or you're a person that's trying to accomplish something, it distracts you from what actual social media is about and people that use it successfully. And that is about being social.
Yeah.
That is about actually going and listening.
Yeah.
Threads has caused me to listen. It's caused me to listen more than I ever have to other people that I care about, which is musicians and artists, people that I want to connect with. And it's just so amazing to me that across the board, I will talk about a subject and like a post will blow up. People will be like, wow, interesting perspective, or push back, whatever. We'll have a conversation is the bottom line.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, I don't expect to be right about anything all the time ever.
Yeah.
But then you'll go and I'll see like another peripheral person will post something about something that I had just talked about, whether it's about this whole thing about putting blinders on or about how social media sucks and like people not realizing that it's actually, if you can figure it out, because somebody out there is figuring out, it's your key to distro. It's your key to like building a community for free sometimes if you leverage it correctly. Yeah. And it's just amazing. Or for example, the circle jerk of like, oh, people that use samples make me mad. I shouldn't use it. Like, it's just these like people are always, there's always people that are at that level that you used to be at. In terms of like understanding something. And it like, that's the thing that like makes me like, when I start communicating with people, I just want to shake them and go, dude, it's like, I was just there where you were at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just, I guess like, the communication and being able to do it in a different way. Like you said, you're always like chasing the stuff with the promoters and everything.
Yeah.
It's like now we get to shut up and listen. And that's how I want to use social media. And it's dope that you're using this podcast to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and what I really love about this podcast also is it has a very different vibe than the other ones. You know, it very much feels like it's a conversation. It really feels like, you know, it's the homies. We're in the booth.
We're in the booth, bro. Literally, I know. We're in the booth with no music. Yeah. And I'm really glad that Threads has been good for you, because one thing that I always tell artists, they're like, I can't get big on TikTok. I'm like, okay, well, you understand TikTok has its own audience, right? They're like, I can't get big on Reels. I'm like, okay, it has its own audience. They're like, well, I do well on Twitter though, actually. I'm like, okay, well, maybe you need to understand that each social media platform has their own engaged following and type of audience, right? You do need to be omnipresent, right? Like your content needs to go everywhere. Like I believe my biggest fan base is on YouTube, and I'm working hard to
Awesome.
serve that audience.
I mean, that's the best audience to fucking have on the
It is,
the
right?
best, period.
But one platform that you and I know all too well as DJs is SoundCloud. And I think
Yes.
SoundCloud, I know for you, and you spoke about this on Threads, Hyped It specifically, has
Oh,
been
yeah.
the number one reason, at least for one, myself, Hood Politics, people like you, like we grew up in the SoundCloud generation, dude.
Yes,
Like
sir.
people went on world tours for mashups.
I did. I mean, I did.
Right?
I did. Well, yeah, our music blew up on SoundCloud. It blew up on Hype Machine, and we got signed to a fucking agency. I mean, it's just
That's
those were the days.
insane. That's insane. And
Off a
there's still a
remix.
really dedicated audience on SoundCloud. That's mostly DJs, you know?
Right. And here's the thing. This is what
Yeah.
this is what I tell people is that to me, it's just so fucking funny when like people go and say, "Oh, SoundCloud's a dead platform." Okay, shut up, dude.
No, it's
People
not.
that say that are such ding dongs that it hurts my brain, dude. Like, here is the fucking what I always like to do, like the mic drop on like why SoundCloud had a major resurgence during COVID
Mhm.
was because 14-year-old, 15-year-old fucking kids, 16-year-old kids that would do like a little fucking funny mashup on TikTok. Well, they're not uploading it on Spotify. And they want the clout from it. So, dude, imagine if a fucking song, like all of the shit, all of those little meme things that like took off, either the person themselves that made the mashup uploaded to SoundCloud or some other fucker that wanted clout took it and uploaded to SoundCloud themselves. Dude, some of those things have 50 million streams on them. How do you think they got 50? Because, like the really big mashups, the little fucking ones that became dances and whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, those people were ferried off of TikTok, the most popular app in the world, especially during COVID, to SoundCloud. So no matter what, TikTok was the greatest thing to happen to SoundCloud of all time. And guess what, dude? Out of those millions of people that had to go onto SoundCloud, maybe to them it was a new app they've never heard of before.
True.
I'm sure a percentage of them made accounts. I'm sure a percentage of them were like fucking with it. Oh wow, this is and dude, I mean, SoundCloud I think famously like does not talk about their numbers. I think neither does Spotify, but dude, they must be. I mean, it must be something insane.
Yeah.
The amount of like new users and like interest they got during COVID because of that, because of the mashups, because of you couldn't hear that shit on YouTube even. Some of the stuff was like only on SoundCloud. So dude, it's like I just think that I got lucky with my timing personally, and like SoundCloud, dude, I just booked another show, but I don't have a manager or an agent, but I just booked another show because of my fucking songs on SoundCloud.
Wait, love that you don't. I don't either. We'll get into that too. You don't.
Yeah, but I just got booked because they're like, dude, everybody in our market plays your songs. All the fucking openers, everything are playing your match. So we might as well fucking book you. But that's such a crazy. But dude, like, who the hell would have thought that we would come back to this era? I mean, it's just so to me, I'm just like, dude, I'm extremely grateful. I mean, people think that I'm kidding, but SoundCloud actually changed my life back in the day, and it's changing my life again. It's putting money in my actual pocket.
Yeah, that's
really
incredible.
Crazy, dude.
And you get to be yourself on there too, right? Like these streaming platforms, especially Spotify, have become their own behemoths of social media that we have to deal with. Right. Spotify is a beast, and it is exhausting to try and master and get involved in, and
or even get involved. Exactly, get involved is even hard. Master is like another.
I mean, I can't even talk about Spotify, but SoundCloud, I love, and Hyped It, for those don't know, and I know many that watch this do know, is essentially like a download gate platform that if they want your music that you're giving away for free, there's just small barriers there, right? Like what are your usual download gates? Just follow you on SoundCloud?
So for me, it's follow, comment, like, repost, follow on Spotify.
Right.
And give the email. Because dude, at this point, dude, for me, clearly it's a numbers game with the 52 songs, but it's a numbers game because it's like, I mean, dude, I've said this publicly before. I officially have a 30,000 person email list.
That's incredible.
But dude, I'm like a small business now. So for me, it's like being able to have that kind of data is it's my lifeline. If all of this shit were to fall through the floor, it means that all this shit was not for nothing, dude. And that's the power of something like Hyped It, to be able to go and like you were just saying, to be able to go and like do a free download of a remix or an original song in exchange for that data. Now you're a fucking tech company. And I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like what makes Spotify valuable? Is it because of the fucking data?
Bro,
it's a data company. They say it all the time.
A car company. It's a data company.
Exactly.
Apple is not a phone company; it's a data
It's a
company.
data company, period, dude. And that's dude, I think that's a jump off. I hope. See, I should talk about that more like on my socials and stuff. But like, dude, I think once an artist like realizes this, and data doesn't just mean emails. Data also just means like it's just another form of leverage. I think that more and more artists, like what this taught me, what this whole fucking experience taught me, that I didn't know before when I already had like my other big fucking career, and then it was over, and what am I gonna do? Scream, hey, people that fucked with my song 5 years ago, can you fuck with me again? That's not how it works. And people will learn that very fucking quickly. But like being able to have data, using something like Hyped, using something like Discord communities, fucking WhatsApp groups, fucking Facebook groups, whatever the hell it is, artists, this is as important to me now if you want to be a serious artist as much as making the music is. Because
Yeah,
this is how you protect yourself from getting fucked over by somebody.
so true, so true.
Leverage is so important, and with the internet, dude, an artist can cultivate it for free. If you can finish a fucking remix, you can capture 50 emails.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, Hyped It has been an incredible. I mean, Hyped It and SoundCloud changed my life. Straight up.
It's incredible, dude. And
Straight up, dude.
I want people to know that like you need to understand like where does your audience lie and where can you deliver your product, right? One thing that I'm constantly preaching about, even as label manager and A&R of Hood Politics, right? I say labels are not necessary for this exponential growth that artists think are going to happen, right? Like they said,
Yeah.
where's this magic button? Why isn't an agent reaching out to me? Why doesn't a manager want me? Why doesn't this festival want to book me? Why do I want to get on these Spotify playlists? Because nobody knows who the fuck you are. Like straight up, you need to build up this following on your own. If you want to get on the ultras, the repopulates, the insomniacs, right? Like
Right.
it's up to you to create that demand. So I highly encourage artists to understand one, how it works in the back end, uploading your music to a distributor, right? Like finding out how radio edits work, extended, like how do you promote something that's going to be on Beatport if it's going to be on Spotify? How are you
Right.
rolling that product out? How are you continuing to push
Mhm.
that? How is the post promotion going?
Mhm.
And then the labels are going to say, hey, love what you did with that. Let's be collaborative. I want to hear more music, right? And that's why important it's to stack content, if it's music or content or whatever it is.
Right. Right.
And your latest track, Let's Be Nothing with Mono, you just distributed on DistroKid, right?
Shiba and DistroKid just hit 10,500 streams. No label. It's just me fucking shit posting on Instagram.
Yeah, dude, amazing, dude.
But
Like,
bro, it's and for me, it's like I know that's not a huge number. Like a lot of my homies fucking eat that for lunch. But like for me, it's so important that every single aspect, it was me, and there was no resist. Well, obviously me, Mono, and fucking my homie who helped me with the mix and master. But other than that, it's like every single aspect of it. There was no one moment in me putting out this original song, my last original, for those of you that need some context here.
yeah.
There was no moment of like, oh, fuck the artwork. Oh, now it's fucking,
Yeah.
oh, delayed 2 weeks. Oh, shit. Dude, one of my biggest things that I'm saying every day, every single day, you could literally go and anybody can go on Threads right now and see, I post every single fucking morning when I wake up. Today's a gorgeous day to finish your music and share it with the world.
Yeah.
And what do I mean when I say that? Is that if you aren't doing it yourself and you are putting, again, it's all about artists, musicians, especially now that are like on the kind of first initial level. It's like this like Stockholm syndrome where they're like, I can't do something unless somebody else says I can do it. I can't fucking do it unless I got a manager. I can't perform unless I can't put a song out unless a label. Dude, if you get used to that mindset, then it's very difficult to ever walk away from that mindset.
Yeah.
Because if you are in your head that I'm just like a fucking baby that has no ability to do any kind of things, and I also have no interest in learning how to do the things, then dude, it's going to become a dark spiral. So for me,
Yeah.
putting out this song and the song I put out before, there's no, hey, let's push back on the artwork. There's no, oh, let's do this. Oh, we don't like the fucking build up. Oh, it's, do I have all all systems go on it? And was I proud and happy about what I created? Because that, for my mental health, which is another whole fucking conversation about this.
Yeah.
What I'm doing, and through putting out all this music, and by the way, I did all the artwork. Obviously, it did help. AI helped me a lot. The kind of all these AI tools that came out helped me make the artwork.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, dude, from a mental health perspective, for me to be able to, you're rebuilding trust with yourself, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that so many artists have completely lost,
Yeah.
that to the point that they need a voice to tell them that something is okay before they're able to make the most basic of decisions creatively or with their careers. And that is the scariest, like fucking,
Not good.
thing to wean off of ever, because then you're like, what the fuck am I even doing? Why am I doing any of this shit?
You're
Well,
gatekeeping yourself.
you're gatekeeping yourself. Oh, I can't do it unless the homies fuck with it. Well, you're fucked, because what if your homie just broke up with his girlfriend and you ask him advice? You're fucked. Now the
Honestly.
breakup and his fucking stubbed his toe, that feedback is going to come into your fucking masterpiece. And people, I mean, dude, like it's real. So becoming independent artist doesn't mean you're funding your own music and you're fucking releasing on your own. Becoming an independent artist means I created something that I fuck with, and now I can release it on my own fucking.
Yep.
That's what people think independent is like a financial thing. Independent is a mental and spiritual thing, and that's something that I just recently am understanding. So,
dude, fuck, man, I love your energy about this. Is like my same energy, and I want people to know as well. Producers gatekeep themselves for many different reasons. Ones that you just mentioned, but they're like, I got to get it on a label. Well, guess what? We just talked about, I mean, throughout this conversation, how many DJs and how many producers are out there, and they're making really fucking fire shit.
Incredible.
Like, there's
next
really
level
good music out there.
Objectively, yeah.
We get so many demos to Hood Poly, bro. Like, so many, and they're so good. And we can't say yes to everything because we just can't.
It's too
right?
much. It's physically impossible.
It's too much, right? And if I say yes to something, we like have a limit where like we won't really do more than like 3 months, right? Like we just won't. Like we'll say hold tight, whatever it is, right? Like we'll review when we can. But so many artists, they'll say, I got a track coming out. I just got it signed. It's coming out in 8 months. It's like 8 months from now. That's not even going to be your sound, right? Like you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing your future fans, whether they know you, your current fans that know you, or your future fans that haven't known you. If you say, oh, like, I can't get it out because it's not on a label, it's not going to be legit, it doesn't make sense. Right. Get that shit out there.
Get that shit out there. And because here's the thing, again, it comes back to what I was saying, like, energy is so important when it comes to this stuff because of how sensitive the fans are and how sensitive the artist himself is.
Yeah.
And dude, if there is that one little moment of pushback, I know it, because when you're an artist and you're sitting there by yourself in your room for hours making something that you are like, you're pretty much like you're like taking your clothes off in front of strangers. Really is what you're doing, right? It's so fucking personal that if you go and there's like this kind of pushback and there's this like time barrier and you have time to start resenting, when you start resenting the thing that you created because of like too much time has passed or whatever it is, and you're not happy with it anymore, the problem is you start resenting yourself as well as a human being, and that like leads to so much bad shit. That's why I tell people, like, again, I don't just say put the music out to be, whenever I post that stuff, I always get the odd fucking person that comes in there every now and then on threads and goes, hustle culture has no place in creativity. Yeah, okay. But put something out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't fucking be like me, psychopath every single week. But bro, your fucking Drake dubstep record from fucking 5 years ago, no one's waiting for it. Nobody fucking cares. And you don't fucking care. And that amalgamation of all these different fucking levels of resentment is fucking people up.
Yeah.
Like it really, dude, it takes people to a dark place. I mean, I at this point, I'm very sure of it, that when somebody summons up and is able to, even for like an hour, 5 hours a week, be able to put away their complexes and their fucking insecurities, to be able to finally sit down and make some music or make some art, and then now it's done for all intents and purposes, and now we have to wait a year. You're gonna go right back into that shell, but like a fucking rubber band.
Yeah.
The doubt that's going to creep in, the amount of resentment that's going to creep in, because again, nobody's sitting there and waiting 8 months for their song to come on a record book. Trust me, they're not sitting there like they go to a fucking convent and they're not using social media. They're using social media all fucking day long. Their homie, who they know has a ghost producer, now is playing fucking EDC, fucking main stage.
Yeah.
All this poisonous, crazy shit is going to come into their head, and they're going to fucking hate their lives. And now they have to wait 8 months. And guess what happens after 8 months? Now you have to go make content about a song that you fucking hate. Okay, well now, of course you're gonna fucking hate social media, because now you fucking hate everything. The song sucks, I suck, the people that collab suck, the label now I have a bad relationship with them, the homie that I made the song with, now our relationship is fucked up because now dude, I've seen it, and it happens all the time. And like you said, you gotta go with the energy, you gotta get that music out. And at this point, it's no longer like a you could do it thing. It's like, do it for your own brain health, your own longevity, your own not wanting to fucking end it all with your career,
Yeah. It seems like to me, Victor, like there are lots of things that obviously you can be distracted by, but you always find ways to bring yourself back. And like your sort of your mantras, like disco as a weapon, your brand being glam house. Like, are these sort
Yeah.
of your North Stars or your like, core self, so to speak?
So my so to you know so to the first song that really got me into dance music is this song called "You Are My High" by Demon, which many people know. DJ Snake did a "You
Yeah,
Are My
yeah,
High."
yeah.
You are my high.
So good.
So like that. I mean, that was the song when I was like in high school or something. So 458,000 years ago, when I was in high school, when the dinosaurs, the stegosauruses were roaming the lands, prior to the invention of fire. I fucking was in high school listening to that on my iPod, and I was like, there was just something so fucking just about just like the side chain, the pumping side chain. I mean,
Mhm.
that to this day, that sound from that, like for those of you that Daft Punk, fucking Justice, like all these like French kind of electro people that were kind of pioneers. There's this effect called the sidechain effect. This is pumping, and what they would do in the kind of French house
Yeah.
genre, which is the thing that keeps me wanting to do music every single day, is that genre, me getting inspired by it. They would take old samples from like the '70s and stuff and just duck it. Just think, for those listening, just think Benny Benassi Satisfaction when the kick comes in.
Yeah.
There, that
Yeah.
was like one of the most famous examples of that effect. Like, dude, for me, doing doing that effect when I'm being creative and putting in like the sound, that's enough to get me inspired. Like
Wow.
it's like for me to when you say how despite all the distractions, how can I come back? I always refocus on the most fucking stupid little simple version of what I'm trying to do, and
Mhm.
that is what snaps me back into like a mode. And that's something that I try to tell people.
Okay.
When they're like, "Oh, I have writer's block," because again, threads always like somebody's got writer's block, somebody hates social media. It's all these conversations that are happening similar. And I always tell people, I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, the only way for me to have been able to bring myself back to center to be able to do what's most important, which is be creative and work on my brand and try to create art that people fucking care about, that I care about, is always bringing something back to basics. So one of the things that I always tell people is if you have writer's block or you have like you're like in dark night of the soul of your creative fucking journey, go and make something fucking terrible as fuck. Go make the worst fucking art you could possibly make, like shit. Like go
Yeah.
make fucking shit. And the
Genius.
fucking shit sessions
Yeah.
are what keep me sane, keep me creative, and keep me kind of agile because,
Mhm.
and what's the secret? What's the point of all this? Is that there's no pressure. So what I do, if I need to get back to a center, despite the distractions, despite like, people think that I'm like everything's fucking smooth sailing for me. No, I'm just hitting new plateaus of complications and rejections in my life. But the difference is now I know how to now take my body knows how to process a rejection and recycle it and make it into something useful,
Yeah.
which back in the day, before I was able to do this kind of body of work, the smallest fucking bad conversation would just end me. Right. And I'm sure this is for like a lot of people. Right. So for me, whether it's creative or whether it's like the mental shit, I always try to like shut everything out and then come back to basics.
Right.
Right? How about I just make one shitty piece of content today, send one fucking shitty reach out DM, and make one fucking of the worst fucking 8-bar loops of all time. Because what that does is it brings me back to realize that number one, all this shit is not that serious. But
Yeah.
number two, if I can do this fucking garbage version of it, then I
Mhm.
can do a little more and I can do a little better and I can do a
Yeah.
little bit better. And then that can bring me back to realizing it's not about making a masterpiece or saying the best thing or sending the best email. It's about being able to do something and not judge yourself when you do it.
Wow.
That to me is the most important thing when shit starts getting, oh, I should, like, during EDC, like, I mean, I haven't really talked about this, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna be real, and I'm gonna talk about this on threads and shit too. But
Yeah.
dude, I got to the point for EDC because I did like an Insomniac mix and like all this stuff. Dude, I caught myself, I was like DMing like a bunch of fucking different people from Insomniac. Can I get an art car? Can I get an art car? I got so fucking, I mean, it was just such a cringe thing for me to do, like to watch myself do. But it
Yeah.
was like, what I realized was like, I'm trying to control something because I'm not doing the work. I'm so fixated on fucking getting this fucking art car, side stage, whatever fucking thing at EDC
Yeah.
was because my ego is doing this backdoor thing where I think, well, I put out all this music. I don't deserve anything. What I
Mhm.
deserve to do, I deserve to continue doing the work that I promised myself that I would be doing and continuing taking things at the pace that they're coming. Because the ego and wanting to do more, like I said, coming back to that, like, oh, I'm not making a banger. I'm not getting responses that I want from people. It's That's your brain thinking. It's just trying to trick you into inaction.
Yep.
Right. So again, for me, it's all about coming back to like just do the basics. Go back to basics at all times. I know that was again a very, very long-winded fucking answer to what you were
No.
asking. But this is the stuff that kind of goes through my head, and I kind of have to always like I simultaneously try to like juggle all these things at once. I mean, this is kind of how my mind works. But
Yeah.
when I come back to that piece, when I come back to that
Mm-hmm.
doing, to just do the small fucking action,
Mm-hmm.
that is when shit starts clicking for me again.
Yeah.
That's when, in a weird way, shit that has nothing to do with what I'm doing starts clicking again. Like me getting, I was so worried about gigs for this summer. The minute I stopped fucking doing this, what are you doing? I started getting fucking phone calls and emails.
Dude, why is that? Why is that a consistent truth?
It's crazy, man, because it's like when you step away from something,
Yep.
it really starts happening for you. And there's a difference. I think there's like, I think it's important to have goals and like ambitions, but like focusing on something in a way that you're trying to force it will always make it worse because you are enforcing it. Whether it's you want a gig, you want to sign to a label, you want to do these things.
Yeah.
Enforcing it, you start ignoring again the foundational.
So true, man.
Start ignoring making music. Oh, I'm not going to make music. I'm sending you. You can't. You
You're
gotta.
dead set on playing an art car when, like, if you stop thinking about that, you're gonna be playing circuit grounds before you know it, right?
But
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But again, it's the ego. Your ego. See, that's another thing. Two words that I really have problems with are talented and deserve.
yeah,
Talented and deserve are my two words that I'm constantly in fucking battle with. One of my biggest hot takes that I say online on threads and shit is like, I don't think talent is a prerequisite for fucking anything. And I
no,
don't
it's
think
not.
I don't think anybody deserves anything. What I always tell people is like, artists, like, you don't deserve for anyone to fucking even listen to your song once. I'm sorry, but once you realize that as an individual, your whole fucking life opens up.
Yeah,
Your whole life opens up when you realize that you only can control this square fucking radius of mass in the world. You can't go, oh, these fuckers don't know. It's like that meme. They don't know that I'm the biggest dubstep artist of 2024. Bitch, you haven't put a song out in 5 years.
Yeah, shut up.
It's like what do you mean like, so anyway, so to me it's like, dude, it's about grit and it's about putting your head down, it's about putting blinders on, and then shit just starts happening. It's almost like the winner of anything in the world is the person that does the most boring, dumbass, fundamental thing the longest.
Yeah.
If it's music, dude, like there's so many people that I know that quit music, okay? That I looked at them back in the days and was like, I mean, I could remember there's certain artists and certain friends or whatever that were coming up with me.
Yep.
I lived in Hollywood and shit. I was like, dude, I remember the thought clearly in my head where I was like, I will never be 1% of the musician that this person is.
Yeah.
Like not of like out of actual scare. I was scared. I could remember saying that. Guess majority of those people quit.
They do.
Majority of the people that I had that fucking thought about are no longer even doing any creative work at all.
Yep.
What? And for me, I feel like shit is just starting to cook for me. And I'm just thinking, man, if I quit over all these little stupid, well, I didn't get booked here, this fucking guy didn't want to collab with me. If those were the reasons that I fucking quit, then I would never have been able to get to this point.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
I think that some of the most, at least I know some incredibly musically talented people, right?
Yeah.
One of my good friends, the best piano player I've ever seen in my life, right? He decided not to choose a career in music. He's a lawyer. He's a happy guy, right? And I'm like, not wasted talent, but I'm like, fuck. You know, one of my other friends, incredible singer and guitar player, right? Like was in music, did well. It's just hard to see it through because there's this whole business side that we could, go deep into. But it's really hard because people get into that zone. They get into that mindset and they're like, I just can't do it anymore, right? And then you get into a groove because you have your North Star, you have your home that keeps you focused, keeps you happy, keeps you fulfilled. And I want to drill in on the word ego with you a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
In the Avicii book, it's called Tim. I don't know if you ever read it before.
I would love that. Sounds like
it's
a great
really
read,
good. It's really fucking good.
Is it it's a biography that someone else wrote about him?
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good. Wow.
It's cool.
I'm a huge Avicii fan. So
huge Avicii fan, right? Obviously, we all know his story, his struggle. But in the book, they talk about Avicii's struggle with the word ego, and the way they define it is the voice inside your head that tells you you're not good enough, not the voice inside your head that tells you you're better than everybody else, because that's the battle that we fight every day, is you telling yourself you're not good enough because of these barriers that we talked about earlier. If you don't get on a label, that's not going to be good enough. If you don't have a manager, no one's ever going to respect you. If you don't have an agent, you're never going to play these shows, right?
Exactly, dude. You nailed it. Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, how do you define the word?
I know exactly. I mean, I think it was this year. Dude, like again, when people, and this is something that I keep coming back to Instagram threads because
I love it.
Well, I keep coming back to it because what the point of it is, I'm having real fucking conversations with people that range from super jaded music industry people that are on tour and fucking killing it and million fucking followers, whatever, to people that just fucking started.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I have like, I feel like I'm in the Matrix, in the Matrix where a homie walks in and sees the architect and he's watching like 200 TV. Like, I feel like I'm like watching like people from all different, like, I swear, that's what I feel like I'm down. Like, I just had a conversation with fucking like Wookie, who was able to walk on main stage and fucking play to fucking gazillion people. And now I'm also having a conversation with like some kid that's like, I can't use splice samples. You know what I mean? Like, people are at such different plateaus. So I feel like I'm just like seeing this. And like I'm starting to have a lot more empathy for for like people don't have clear definitions on things, and that's what causes them a lot of incredible turmoil. And for example, ego is one of those things that gets thrown around, that word is thrown around so often. And yes, dude, it's not about I think I'm the shit. It's about it's a poison. It's like ego is like it's like I don't even know how to explain. I almost envision like, like when you're a kid and you put like a magnet on the fucking parents' TV and it just starts obscuring the fucking what's on the screen.
Yeah.
That's the ego, dude. It's this like damage. It's this irreparable damage that comes from within you to everything else that you touch. And it's created by you, and it's manufactured inside of you, and it's perpetuated further inside of you. So it's one of those things that like the first thing that a person that has an issue with that, the first thing that happens is I can't possibly be the person that's fucking creating this terrible internal dialogue narrative. It must be somebody else. It must be the industry. It's fucking my ex-girlfriend. It's the fucking Mark Zuckerberg and the algorithm. It's fucking Nepo babies. It's industry plant. It's not me. It's impossible that it's me, because how could I literally operate with my own worst self-interest? Well, because that is how it works. We are so fucking mortified about if we have a story that we tell about ourselves, like, oh, we're not at that level yet, or we suck, or we're not worthy of being loved by fucking this many people or loved by anybody. We are so desperate to be able to go and prove ourselves correct. We're dying to go, especially if you're an artist, right? Artists are sensitive and empathetic almost to a fault. Right? This is not like you're about to be a fucking CEO in fucking Wall Street where you can say humans don't exist. These are just fucking, ragdolls. Like, musicians and artists are not like that. So we're very, very sensitive, and like we really go down these rabbit holes of like just fucking destroying ourselves at every single chance possible. So with that said, right, I'm one of those people that like I hate when people go and say just be yourself, or like when people talk about content, give value. It doesn't fucking mean shit. It's like the worst fucking advice you can give somebody. So to me, if I could say something to people out there that are like struggling with this thing about ego and this kind of like entitlement, these are all like symptoms of the same kind of disease, right?
Yeah.
How do you get past your own narcissism and your entitlement and your fucking self-defeating? I almost call it like it's almost like it's like a rock that you're carrying, and the rock is getting bigger. And it just crushes you, and you're holding it and you're carrying it, your spine is breaking, but you keep holding it. You got to keep on, like, and examples of that I would see, like people that like live too much in the past, like, well, I used to fucking play at Dulab and I used to do this. No, that's why I deserve respect. No, you don't. You know what I mean? People like that, you just see them just get crushed.
Dude.
They just get crushed. So to me, for anybody that's listening that feels like they're going through that feels like the antidote is fucking making stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but the antidote is making stuff, making art, going back to the foundation of why the fuck you didn't become an artist to fucking go on email chains and fucking talk about the industry. You became an artist to make stuff. So the further
have fun.
Exactly. And the further you get away from that, the more jaded you become, the more resentful you become. The further you get away from like actually doing the thing. And talk about this a lot, is that it's one of the classic cognitive dissonances that if an artist can't get past it, it's just a downward spiral. And that cognitive dissonance is, and this is what was happening to me when I was living in LA towards the tail end for 10 years. You go to the parties, you go on social media and you say, I'm an artist. 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 And my opinion is valid about this. I'm an artist. I've been through this. I'm an artist. Here's my pedigree. But then you go home and you don't make any art.
Yeah.
So your brain is a fucking very good computer,
Yeah.
but it's also a computer that it's just like very naive. So if you
Yep.
fucking go and show, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, I'm an artist, it's like Avatar or some shit. You know, it's like you're not you tell people that you're a fucking blue alien, but you go home and you're fucking just a fucking whatever, fucking soldier guy. Your brain goes, okay, so we're just lying, right? We're just fucking lying.
Right. We're cool with that, right? Okay.
We're cool with that, right? So we're just liars and everything's right. That to me is like the mechanism that ego loves to play in. Because what ego does is, I would rather continue the lie than go through the pain of having to maybe now again become vulnerable again via creating something and put myself out there. I would rather deal with the rock on my back for years, to the point that I start finding reasons. Oh, it's the industry. It's not that I don't like make any music at all. It's just the fucking algorithm has changed and fuck Zuckerberg. So to me, if there's somebody out there that's struggling with this, go fucking back to basics, because what happens is you have to stack tangible, undeniable proof in the world that you still are the thing that you say you are.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, you've proven to your mind that you are capable of lying to yourself, and then that spreads into every other part of your life, relationships, families, friendship. You'll never be able to get that chip off your shoulder because your brain remembers.
Yep.
Again, 15th biggest fucking rant in human history, but this is something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I consider myself a survivor of this mentality.
Absolutely.
And it's coming on the other side of it. I'm still working on it. Everybody's going to be forever working on it, but I have seen the success and the joy that can come back into my life when I recognize it and try to make inroads to stop it.
Dude, I mean, I'm a survivor of this too, honestly, right? Like, a question that I always ask myself is like, I've been in the industry for 10 years now, right? You've been in the industry for 12, 13 years, right? Like, we go through these like cycles, right? And you have to just like refresh your vibe and your energy sometimes, because it's just crazy to think, right? And that's why like I'm so about helping artists like acknowledge these thoughts and feelings that are going to happen no matter what, because you could be the biggest DJ in the world and you're dealing with this shit. You could be people like us and you're dealing
mostly
with
mostly it's the biggest guys in the world that you'll
100%.
Like, I only got 2 million streams. What? It's a new plateau. But it's a thing. It's almost like, the thing that people say, it's like success and like money and like accolades, they don't change you. They reveal who you actually are.
Yeah.
Right. So if you haven't done some kind of work on yourself to fucking figure out, hey, when shit does hit the fan, what kind of person am I going to be? If you haven't done any, listen, how many people that we know, they don't do any work. There's people that just don't do any work. They don't even begin to think. That can get people really far, but it's almost like the moment that shit hits the fan, you are going to crumble 9 out of 10 times.
That doesn't sound like a life that I want to think back on my rocking chair and say I really lived a full life.
Exactly.
That's what I'm about.
Really? So that's your center.
That's my center. That's my long-term goal. Is I want to think back and think about all the good times that I had. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I play in front of 100,000 people or I have all these millions of streams. I just know that I want to make an impact on the industry that's going to last after I'm gone, leave a legacy, right? Leave a roadmap, leave some sort of path. That's important to me, and empower the younger generations.
Yeah.
And I think when I do that, I learn and I give back to myself, and everything else will come to me. You're talking about like the art car stuff. Like, of course we all have these goals to play these festivals as DJs, right? People are always like, is your goal to play Lollapalooza? I'm like, fuck Lollapalooza. I'm thinking way bigger than that shit. I'm thinking about this global community that I can build, that I can go around the world and see the world and visit places and taste the local culture and experience that.
That's great. It's amazing.
With music as my vehicle. That's kind of like where I'm at with it.
No, 100%. I would always say, back when I was in the Goshfather and Jinko days, when I was in that old duo, I always said, like, if playing in, because we had like a little residency at like Marquee Vegas, which at that time was a huge fucking deal, like 2016.
Jesus.
Yeah, we did. It was crazy. But I was like, dude, if playing in Vegas was our goal, we would never play Vegas. Right? My goal was like, I wanted music on the radio.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking wanted. Yep. And that is like much more fucking intangible than like, a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who fucking gets you into Vegas. You know what I mean? It's like, so for me, it's like, so by the time we did play Vegas like multiple times, it was just like, okay.
Yeah. I got old.
That's I mean, pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But the point is that it was like, oh, this is okay. This is like a natural order of things. Again, it comes back to like not forcing shit.
Yeah.
It comes back to like really well, again, I guess again, I mean, I said this earlier in the talk here that I was like, there were so many like little platitudes that you would hear about, like it's about the journey, man. Like, I did not fucking believe. I mean, I would listen to this shit and go, okay, what the fuck, I need money now. I need shit now. I need shit to happen for me now. But dude, it truly is when when you become the kind of human that is able to do the boring thing for the longest time, you become the right person for the fucking job, no matter what it is. And that is when the opportunities come. Like me going in, like none of my videos go viral. Like they don't go like crazy viral. I mean, I have 11,000 followers. Somebody got like 20,000, 30,000. Okay.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm not doing this shit to go viral. I realize that I'm doing this shit because I need the right people to see me fucking every day.
Yes.
And if I'm just getting 2,000 views on like videos and it's not fucking exploding, it doesn't matter because now I'm going to be at top of mind of all the correct people that can now give me the opportunities. Dude, I don't know if I don't know if I mean I don't know if you know this, but I run social media accounts for other artists. That's like my side business that like keeps me alive. I do some
didn't
big
know that.
artists that I probably don't want to mention here. I can tell you later, but
Yeah.
that's been like my business. And like I've gotten so much peripheral leverage and opportunities because I've gotten good at making content strategies for other artists.
Wow.
It's gotten me better at making it myself. But I realized, dude, whether it's making music or making content or fucking DMing people, whatever it is, it's about nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody. Oh, that's it. Now everybody fucking cares. And everyone's gonna be like, oh, we always knew. Well, that's you don't you have to just completely do the boring, rote, not interesting, not sexy, not 1 million views, not I'm playing Vegas, not I'm playing EDC, fucking not, oh my God, huge fucking collab. That stuff happens when you become the most consistent, kind of trustworthy person. And that's through the unremarkable, very long period of time.
That's been the theme of this conversation is trust. Trusting yourself, trusting the process, trusting your fan base.
That's a huge one, yeah.
Which is like it comes down to honesty, right? Like trust and honest go in the same sentence there. And
absolutely.
You have to be honest with yourself about the promises that you're making, right? Like the two things that you said, that you're holding yourself accountable and that you want to be a finisher, right?
Yeah.
And the ego that we have in our head that says you're not good enough. You acknowledge that. That's the most important part, is saying, I hear you. I hear that voice in my head, but I'm going to listen to my heart. Right.
Right.
And that's where the feeling of love and fulfillment and fun comes from. Right. And I always like to think with my heart first, because there's so much going on in this fucking computer in my head, man.
Right. And the computer in our fucking hands, dude. Like, listen,
literally,
and which is well, the computer in our fucking pocket that we are fucking enslaved to is it's affecting what's happening in our heads. Like our perception is completely clouded. But again, there's some of those things. Yes, okay. Should I go and suggest to people and to myself, which is, I have a big problem with the fucking phone, but do I go and suggest, hey, take 5-hour breaks? Yes, but is from your phone and social media? Great, that is good. You could do that. But I think it's a little bit more realistic to realize that we live in a world where we're like dependent on those kind of things. So with that said, just like with what you just said, realize that there's going to be distractions and ego and like all these things. So with that said, listen to it, acknowledge. It's very Buddhist, it's very like acknowledge. Don't judge your thoughts. That's what meditation is. People think meditation is closing your eyes and saying, "Oh, no." Meditation is having the fucking crazy thoughts go through your head and not reacting to them, not allowing them to now make you emotionally choose your next life or death, right? And that's, to me, what has become, especially after last year, music became my active meditation.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, I need to put this shit on a Monday, rain or shine, for my own fucking whatever. I'm gonna just go. And I would just kind of enter flow state because I didn't have time to judge myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to go, well, this fucking asshole fucking that I know he has ghost produced, the whole stupid ass fucking conversation that is so irrelevant to what you're doing.
Yeah.
I blocked that out through the creative process. And that comes back to, I think, like, if you consider yourself an artist, you consider yourself a musician, the biggest act of self-love is sitting down and working on your craft or doing something with your craft. It's like, it's like soul food. It feeds you. It feeds the soul. It reminds you what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And the longer we get away from it via participating in these like politics and these fucking circle jerks online, or in terms of comparing ourselves, we're stretching ourselves further and further away from ourselves. So
Yeah.
by the time we do have to go do something creative, it's this adversarial, well, I'm gonna go make something better than this other guy. The minute you bring that energy to anything that you're doing, you are fucked. That person already won. That person that doesn't even look at you as their competition already beat you. So again, a radical act of self-love is to sit down and keep a promise to yourself. I hope somebody that hears that, I mean, I really hope that somebody that hears us talking about this right now, like maybe they had to hear this big time.
Dude,
Yeah.
I know that they did. I really mean it, bro, but this has been one of the most powerful, motivational conversations I've had on the podcast, because
appreciate it. Well, I feel
you're
I feel
speaking
the same
from
way.
experience. I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
And whether people really hear us or listen to us, right? Like write these things down, process them, they're going to experience them no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. You pay with time or you pay with money, dude. You pay with you're gonna pay.
That's called life.
You're gonna pay with time, you're gonna pay with money, you're gonna pay with really fucking painful, emotional, fucking terrible fucking situations, and fucking you're gonna pay no matter what. So
no matter what.
You're so fucking right. You're so fucking right with that. So I hope that anybody that hears that can hear from our experience that all the fucking jaded fucking getting let down, getting fucking led on, fucking all the bullshit that I fucking seen. That's what I try to do on Threads. I'm like, dude, I'm not a fucking Calvin Harris, okay? If you want to learn how to make fucking 10 billion streams, I'm still trying to fucking figure that out. So maybe I'm not that guy. But if you're trying to get out of the fucking bedroom, with fucking Ableton, then I can at least save you fucking 3 or 4 fucking 5 years of fucking turmoil. So
I think it's a good time to be in the industry, no matter what level you're at, as long as you acknowledge these facts that we all have to deal with in this new generation, this new era. And I think that's why the Calvin Harrises continue to succeed, because they do these sort of things, right? It's Calvin Harris's way or the highway for himself. He clearly loves what he does. He makes all these different types of music. He doesn't even deal with the touring shit because he can't deal with the online slander. It's absolutely absurd that somebody like that even has to deal with online slander. But that's, again, the world we live in. So it's like,
it's another plateau, dude. It's another plateau. Calvin Harris is dealing with the same online slander, but he has 100 billion streams. So it's like people think that, no, dude, it's just it's another ego thing. It's like, oh, you think just because you become Skrillex that like life becomes easy? Life becomes fucking 100 times harder. Life becomes harder when you become your heroes, dude. Life becomes so much difficult. So that's why it's like, I think it's like so important that when you're starting off to really develop that relationship with yourself, because you're gonna need you when shit actually becomes good.
Yeah.
Just like you're gonna need you when shit becomes bad. And that is something that, dude, that I unfortunately I wish I realized that sooner. Because I wish that I had a better relationship with myself as a creative person, as like a confident creative person, or at least at the whatever level, to be able to kind of weather the traps that happened to me, and especially in the last like latter years when I was living in LA, going to Hollywood Hills. Yeah, bro, I got some shit cooking, man. I didn't have fucking anything cooking, okay? I just needed to get my spiel up at the fucking parties while everybody's fucked up, so I could have somebody to fucking like filibustering. You know what I mean? So that's why, Anyway, so
Well, I'm glad you figured it out now, bro.
Yeah. Figure it out by doing. Dude. We gotta do first, ask questions later. That's something that I try to tell kids all the time, and something I just learned, unfortunately. So
yeah. Well, this has been incredible, bro. I want to talk to you after we stop recording, but
sure.
Everybody who made it to the end of the episode, thank you so much for listening. I know I'm fired up right now. I'm feeling inspired. I'm sure you are too. Make sure to check out Goshfather, his music, his social media, and let's say it one more time, his Threads.
Threads. Yes, my Mark Zuckerberg shill is finally.
No, honestly, you want to talk about the algorithm? You said Zuckerberg like 4 times, so this is
exactly. It's SEO. We're getting the SEO like fucking Hopefully he watches it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do. Thank you so much, man, for this conversation. I really appreciate you.
Hey, what's up? And thanks for watching that video. You looking for more content now? I got your back. Go to my YouTube channel right now, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn on all notifications so you never miss any upcoming exclusive artist interviews, Sherman the Booth clips, new music, live sets, and more. This is your one-stop shop for everything electronic music. Cheers.